Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to go over a practical tutorial today about how really to find investors. Now, we're going to use a paid tool. It's LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I highly recommend it. It is a superb tool. It outperforms in many ways other paid platforms, and you're not limited just to investors. So there is multitudinous benefits, and it's right there in your LinkedIn. So it is an open channel as well. It's its own channel. So if you go to, let's say, Crunchbase, it's not its own channel. It actually gives you the ability to email people. Then you can reach people through different channels. LinkedIn is a channel in and of itself. So I think this tool, Sales Navigator, is very valuable. I'm going to show you actually how to target and find investors, and not just target and find them. And by the way, we will talk about the layers and the nuances that go into this, because how much time and how many messages I've sent and how many literally potentially over a year that I've seen myself and others just focus on these very basic criteria. I'm going to show you exactly what I do today so you get the most up-to-date learning that is as valuable as I can provide. And I think it will significantly improve your process. So let's get right on into it, shall we? And here we are. So this is LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I'll just go back to the home section over here. You're going to come in and you are going to hit lead filters. Now, I will show you what the basic thing that most people do is. So you come over to your different filters over here. And what most people do is you come in and you look at, and you say venture capital and private equity. And all of a sudden, look, you have 530,000 results. And you're like, all right, great. Time to get clicking. Time to get started. How can I grab all their data and send everybody a message? That's going to waste your time. So let's get into some other factors. Now, step two is, here's the next level that someone might do. They might come in here and they might go fintech. Okay, you have 10,000. Got it. But look, we have somebody here who's a startup boot camp. Maybe that's valuable to you. Let's see, we have an angel investor, it looks like in here. We have a fintech. It's just very broad, way too broad still. But this is a place where people would stop and go, great, how about I go grab all that data, I clean it, do the steps, the tools, validate it, and then I go send everybody a message. Still extremely ineffective. Okay, so let's get into some other things. So the next step of this is to do a search where you can see some of them laid out here. They're called Boolean searches, but we're not going to stop there. So a Boolean search is, let's keep with fintech. So what it allows you to do is there, you've now defined that you want to see exactly the way it's written. So for example, someone might have it written like this, and you'd want to have that in there as well. If the way I would do this, so I would just keep it simple, because where you're going to get the most value is probably just in this sort of word where it's fintech. Now let's go ahead and do that. Now we see, oh, 10,000 results because it was the same word. Now let's add some nuance. Okay, so then what that shows us is that is a high validity keyword still, but let's go and look at the stage. What if we were raising for a pre-seed fintech company? Now we have 769 results, but still, I'm still getting this startup bootcamp. Maybe if you're pre-seed, it's valuable, but probably not as much. So we're going to go into the next level and talk about some of the other criteria that are going to be so valuable to your capital raising process. So the first thing is going to be, you could do this. This would be who are you connected to that is in your network already, who's a fintech investor at the pre-seed level. And as you can see, I have 6 people here. Guys, you want to find lists where you're looking at under 100 results. And when you go through, when you do these searches correctly, and we'll go through and do that and figure all that out, when you do that properly, you're going to find that your quality is so high. And we're still not going to stop there. By the way, I'll show you another method. So I have somebody who's very well connected here. And so he has 2. He's very well connected in health. So if I just say, what if I just say health, just to show you an example? Okay, still 7, but maybe pre-seed. And remember, we have this over here. So he has 59. So we have now 59 in VC and PE connections of this individual that match the word health. So we miss our stage, but as you can see, here's 59 people where I can say, oh, you know him, Michael. And that's a warmer connection as well. Let's go back into our previous search. We'll remove this one. And now, nope, gave us the same result. Let's pull this back up. So if we come here, I don't know what just, oh, it removed our industry. It looked like it removed us over. So if we just come back here, we go to industry and we say VC and PE. And this is specifically going to be if you're going to be raising from venture capital and private equity. So you're still at 769, which is good. You could go through this whole list. I would take it a step further though. Let's say you are in, or your client or whoever is in California, or even let's be more specific. How about actually, let's say New York City because it's more fintech oriented. And let's actually test that. Let's see if there's more investors in New York. So there's 77 here. Now, as you can see, let's say the company was in New York. They're a fintech company. They're pre-seed. And I go to what should be the fintech hub in many cases for the United States. Let's go ahead and just test though. Oops. What if we tested, and by the way, that was about 10% of the total list in one city. What if we do San Diego? What if the company is in San Diego? We have 3. So as you can see, it is a significant difference. And then from there, what we're going to do is, and by the way, if you have a pre-seed fintech company in San Diego and you're looking for VC and PE and you have 3 people, realize that is a very high quality list. So I know Innovexis, I don't know Genetic Ventures. Let's see. Let's go into these. So this is the next level that we're going to go into. We can, of course, go back to our overall search level, but let's just go in and start to look through some of these. Pre-seed, check. Well, yeah, we can click on it. Pre-seed, early stage investments alongside growth, GTM. Okay, so they do these investments and they help with that sort of advisory for those companies. And we, in our pre-seed fintech company, fit this. Great. Let's go ahead and check that box. Now what we can see is we have a bunch of different people we can contact. So before we get into that though, and by the way, yeah, before we get into that, let's just go through some of the other ways that we can do our search. So let's say you can use any host of keywords here. So if you say loans and pre-seed, then we get 114. Now you can start to see, by the way, once we go through this, again, I like to work from a list of about 100 or so. That shows you very targeted, relevant. You can craft much better messages, but we're still not going to stop there. There are, of course, other things you can do in here. You can say, okay, what's their job title? But I actually find that isn't as necessary personally. That's just through experience. Because if we only wanted to find general partners, we might take this list down to 10, which is valuable. But the goal is to hit as many that are highest quality as possible that also can get you into the firm. So for example, if you hit a principal, they might have a higher % reply rate and you're still going to get into the firm. The point is the same. Whether you get in at the GP level or the principal level isn't as important as the fact that you get in there, you resonate with a really good message, and it makes sense in terms of what they can truly invest in. So let's go and use Matt Knight, for example. So let's say we're raising for a fintech pre-seed that offers some sort of loan model, and that's what they do. Let's analyze though, because we have now removed the term fintech. So now this might be more of a general person. So let's go through. So background commercial real estate, runs an angel group that invests in prop tech. So that wouldn't apply to us. Generally most effective in, and it says prop tech space, but happy to help in any niche or enthusiast just trying to learn more. So this is one where you could go with a relationship-based approach because, hey, he says he's prop tech, but he's open-minded. In my experience, it really matters. It'd probably be a long shot for him to invest in your fintech company. And then let's go ahead and just hit Control F. Where does it say loans? He has done loans. So there might be some possibility where he has it as an experience. Hey, seeing that you have experience in the loan industry, we're opening up a brand new market. And what's going to happen is we're going to be able to do this. And it's really exciting. Can I send you a teaser? And that's really the messaging that you're going to want to be using if you're going to be reaching out to this person. Because again, you're making it contextual and you're making it relevant. But let's just go in. Here's the exact next step before we go back through our levels. We're in the mode, we're in the flex here of how this really occurs. A lot of different ways to cut this. A ton of connections. 51 mutual is a lot. And so that's the first step. What I would do though, I would just go ahead and connect with him because that just sends it over. And then from there, what you can do is message. And he actually has a free to open profile. You use something normally called in-mail credits, but if they have this free open profile, then you're in a good spot and you can just send a message, no problem. Then you can, of course, do Twitter. And I have covered this in another video, but Twitter is just not effective when it comes to outreaches. I have a 0% reply rate and I've sent maybe 150 messages and it shouldn't be 0. That's all I'll say. So maybe there's other factors involved, but that's my experience with Twitter so far. Still like to throw them a follow, shows I'm there if we initiate a conversation and we're in multiple places at once. And then we've done what we can at this moment. Of course, I can go send a message to him, but I don't have an active client in this space yet, or that would be relevant to this person. So I would send a message, and then from there, add him to your list and come back. You could actually, if you want to just use this feature, we can go ahead and just create a new list and say fintech / loans. Let's just say fintech pre-seed. And we're going to go ahead and create and save that. And there you go. So now let's start to be more specific. So let's look at Emma. She's part of Plend, because let's say we really want to find people who are high affinity, high match for our exact opportunity. So she's a pre-seed impact VC. That probably takes her off the list right away. But let's go further. Backing, so the next impact unicorns. Yeah, so unless we're impactful, unless we're tokenizing carbon credits and selling them, or some sort of carbon credits marketplace or anything like that, we're probably off the list, but let's double check. So we go Ascension. By the way, she says she is the partner at Ascension. So we're going to go to here, to that company. Now we're in here. And these descriptions are really, in my experience, very good and will get you pretty far in understanding. You can always go to their website if you need more information. We'll go, once we find a really good match, I'm going to keep this video a little bit short, but once we find a really good match, I'll show you exactly the next step that you would do. So tech and impact founders. So there might be room for us. So this is the exact situation that we want to find, so that I can give you this example. I'm going to go to the website now. And so the UK Seed Fund, next generation of tech and impact founders. So if I have a fintech company, the way to think about this is that she said she is a impact investor, but Ascension is more than an impact investor. They're impact plus tech. So then I know that I could reach out to her and it could be valuable. In fact, she has the word loans on here. So if loans were relevant to my business model, then that is just an excellent person to talk to. If, of course, let's see if wherever it shows up. Is it a skill? Might be a skill. Let's look at it again. Yep, there it is. So she has a skill in loans, where, again, if that's part of my business model, she might not be the best one, but I would still use that. Hey, because you have experience with loans, here's our product. We're opening up this brand new market. Can I send you a teaser? Would Ascension be interested in looking at this? Would you be interested in a review? Interest, again, is going to get you much further. That ask is going to get you further than anything else. Same process I would do here. I go ahead and hit connect. I do have a tool here called Get Prospect, which allows you to get emails, but we won't go into that at the moment. As you can see, that's exactly how I would work through it. And again, if you find people who are like, oh, this person exited a fintech, they started a new fund and all these things, then you can go in and read their full LinkedIn and make sure you craft the more personalized message. Then you can go in and figure out where those connections or intro paths are. Then you can go in, read the website, make sure you hit the submit form, hit them across multiple channels, add them to your list, to your CRM, or just a Google Sheet works just as well, if not even better, and make a process of it to reach back out until you get the response. So I think in our society today, a lot of people miss the sales training that I had when I was 15 years old, where you got to hit people numerous times. And it's an absolute fact, especially the way to think about it in your mind is that if you can provide that person a great value, if interacting with them could provide a 10x return to their fund, or even a great return to their fund, doesn't need to be 10x or more, would be a good relationship. It's something that they would enjoy. When you build your methodology in your mind about how you're thinking about things, your thinking process around the value you're going to provide, then it just makes things a lot easier. And that's a much better place to be working from when you're being persistent, because persistence does work and it does win. So that's how far we're going to go into it for this video. There's more, of course. We could go on this for hours and hours, but I think this is rich enough for you to be able to realize that you want to be looking at about 114. Remember, if we were just looking at the whole breadth, it was about 530,000 in VC and PE. And then if we go here, just loans, it's 5,000, and we're probably nowhere close. So we want to get very specific and then be even more specific and then be very persistent. So that is how you can find excellent investors down to the niche details. Go ahead and execute it right today. You can also use this for getting customers. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next video.